Hey, everybody. It's Dora with the Real Life Ish video blog on YouTube. Just coming on real quick. As I shared earlier on a post, I want to do a quick watch party. It's really in preparation for the living single series that I'm doing on my Real Life Ish blog. Just bring you all some new flavors, some different things, and I'm just going with the flow. So, just a bit of background for those who might be joining. I've started a weekly blog called Real Life Ish, where I will talk about various topics. And the topic that we've been on, we started last week, was living single. Why am I single? Just had some folks come on as panelists to share why they're currently single. The next one we're going to be doing is this upcoming Friday at 8 p.m. where we're going to talk about the topic, do men need to be needed? So I've already had some really insightful discussion with both men and women. So I'm looking forward to that conversation on March 5th at 8 p.m. Some of the questions we're going to talk about that we've gotten as women that are in our careers and so forth is, can a woman be too independent? Or can we give off that vibe? Do men get offended when a woman wants to pay or offers to pay? Is a man more attracted to a woman who needs him? We're just going to talk about it, to be completely transparent. But what I want to do real quick is I want to share the video that I'm referencing that we're going to watch tonight. It is a pretty long podcast, but I thought it was an interesting tagline, and it was a really great marketing strategy from what they posted. So I'm going to play that really quick, as I would love to get you all. I'm just going to give y'all a little snippet into what it's all about. Wait, I don't think the sound is sharing, so I'm going to try that again. Let's see here. Yes, I need to share my audio, so it's not working. All right, let's do this again. Wait, I don't think the sound is sharing.
The worst dating advice that women receive goes as the following. You're young. Don't worry about men. Chase your career, chase the bag, build your empire, and then later on in your 30s, the men will come. That is the worst dating advice women receive. And I get so many DMs, emails, so many one-on-one sessions from women who've received that terrible advice and are suffering from it today. And the reason why it's so terrible advice is because that advice applies to men. It does not apply to women, because getting a career, getting the bag, building your empire are all masculine things. And those masculine things attract females, heterosexual females. Those things are going to attract. So when women are using the masculine strategy to attract a masculine man, it does not work. And so many women send me messages, reaching out to me, are calling me for help because they're in their mid to late 30s and they're saying, where is my husband that society, my mom, my pastor promised me, because he's nowhere to be found.
All right, so that was the clip of what I saw. So immediately I was like, okay, I need to watch the full video because I hate taking videos out of context. So I immediately reached out to the owner of the podcast and I asked if it was possible for me to do a watch party on the video because I'm interested in learning more, or to at least get someone else's perspective. And I thought it was going to be a great segue into the Friday series that we're going to be doing on Do Men Need to Feel Needed. So without further ado, because it is a long video, hopefully some folks will watch it with me. If not, you can rewatch it or you can watch the original. I'll definitely post that. But we're going to get started. And I'm going to go on mute so I can smoke my hookah, leave comments, and let's talk about it, so forth and so on. So let's get this started now.
Yo, what's good, everybody? And this week's episode is brought to you guys by Skillshare. Guys, you know that Skillshare are our amazing partners. They are a one-of-a-kind online learning community where you can learn all types of amazing creative, entrepreneurial, and design skills. If you have not and got on Skillshare, go ahead and sign up for Skillshare immediately, guys. They have so many amazing courses like the Finding Your Purpose course. And as always, if you want to build up more skills, I highly advise you guys hop on the video editing. I don't know how many times I need to say it. Go to Skillshare.com/roommates and get yourself Skillshare for free. Yes, guys, I've said it so many times. It is free. You do not have to pay any money. There's no excuse to not level up financially, not level up creatively. So go to Skillshare.com/roommates. Thank us later. And let's get to this week's episode.
This week on the Roommates Podcast.
And the worst dating advice that women receive goes as the following. You're young. Don't worry about men. Chase your career, chase the bag, build your empire, and then later on in your 30s, the men will come. That is the worst dating advice women receive, and I get so many DMs, emails, so many one-on-one sessions from women who've received that terrible advice and are suffering from it today. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Hafiz.
Chris, the star of the show, baby.
Yes. And welcome to today's episode. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I am here joined with Chris. And guess what happened, guys? We recorded this episode already. And it didn't record for some reason.
It happens, man. Like I said, it happened to us before.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
But it's okay. We're going to do it for you all because we know it's needed in the culture.
Yes, indeed. So, let's do it again.
Yes.
Run it back, Turbo. Okay, so this episode is here by popular demand.
Yes.
It is here not because we personally want to talk about it, though we do talk about it often.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women have been messaging us, reaching out, initiating, asking us to talk about this subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like when I was going to do it on an individual video, but then I realized it was going to be like 3 different videos because there was so many different layers. And I said, why not talk with Chris about it? And now we are here.
Yes.
So before we get started, as usual with these discussions, we need to have 3 disclaimers for tonight's conversation. Disclaimer number 1. If you are a woman who does not like hearing men's opinions in regards to giving women advice, this isn't for you.
Just hit pause. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for your 3 minutes and 12 seconds. This video is not for you. This video will trigger you, will offend you, might get you feeling some kind of way. So if you're that kind of woman, I would highly advise you. We have over 300 other videos. Check out a different video that will be more to your liking. Oh, did you want to add?
Oh, no.
Okay,
No.
cool. That is rule number 1. Rule number 2 is that if you are a woman who does not like masculine style advice, and when I talk about masculine style advice, I'm saying that if dad was giving you this advice, how he's direct, how he's honest, how he'll give you the pepper soup, how he'll be straight to the point. If you don't like this style, please, we have so many other videos for you.
Exactly. The passion will come out, tonality will come out, so we come from a place of love.
Yes.
Not attack. We're not bitter. We're not hurt men. We don't hate women. We're trying to help.
Yes. We are simply trying to help, which leads to rule number 3, and then we'll get into tonight's conversation. If you are a woman whose number one passion in life is career and success financially, so career and finance, if that's your number one passion, if that makes you happy, this video is not for you. Because you're chasing the bag, you're chasing the job, you're doing all these things, and you're happy. You're living your best life. You're traveling the world. You're going to Tulum by yourself. You're going to Turks and Caicos. You're living the dream. You are living a perfectly happy Sex in the City life, and this video has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant to you because you are literally living out your life's passion. And who are we, 2 cisgender heterosexual men, to have the audacity to tell you, modern woman who's living your best life? Who are we? So if that's you, this video is not for you.
Continue to thrive.
Thrive, queen.
Yes.
Get that bag, girl.
Yeah, girl. City girl. Hot girl forever. It ain't the summer, it's your life. Hot girl life. There you go.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and hard to read. It undermines the writer's message.
But if you're one of the millions of women, thousands of women, hundreds of women who message us, who really desire family and marriage, if that's what you really desire out of life, if that's what makes you happy, if that's really what you're longing for, then today's video is for you.
Exactly. And to also add that not only if you desire that, but you also want a man that you want. Not the men that you attract that you're not really feeling, that you don't really like that, that's here for the time being, whatever. The man that you want. We have to put that in there, Fees.
Yes. So today's conversation is 2 parts. And the first part is the worst dating advice women receive, especially young women. And the worst dating advice that women receive goes as the following. You're young. Don't worry about men. Chase your career, chase the bag, build your empire, and then later on in your 30s, the men will come. That is the worst dating advice women receive. And I get so many DMs, emails, so many one-on-one sessions from women who've received that terrible advice and are suffering from it today. And the reason why it's so terrible advice is because that advice applies to men. It does not apply to women. Because getting a career, getting the bag, building your empire are all masculine things. And those masculine things attract females, heterosexual females. Those things are going to attract. So when women are using the masculine strategy to attract a masculine man, it does not work. And so many women send me messages, reaching out to me, are calling me for help because they're in their mid to late 30s and they're saying, where is my husband that society, my mom, my pastor promised me, because he's nowhere to be found.
Did you know that the average adult has 5 to 20 pounds of toxic poop in their body at any given moment? Seems crazy, right?
And the sad thing is that is very common. You know, and that's in a lot of women, especially the Black community. And it's multiple different reasons. I'm sure we're gonna go down the road, but yeah, that initial dating advice of put men off, focus on your career, get your money, build your business is probably one of the top 3 reasons why so many women are single. Because you can see that they're doing that well. If we're being honest, they're making money. They get more degrees than we do, higher rate, you know, all these things. Focus, you know, yada yada yada. But they're single. And they're lonely. And you, especially around this time, you know, we passed Valentine's Day now, but I have seen a lot of women that have been that was colleagues of mine that, you know, that I graduated with, that like I said, they're thriving, but they're literally all of them are single. Every one of them that's that independent, career focused, get the money oriented. Every last one of them is single.
And so here's why this is a problem that women are reaching out to us about. Remember, guys, they're reaching out to us. And here's why it's a problem. Like I said at the beginning, what they desire
exactly
is marriage and family. Like I said, if they're the career finance women, they're not reaching out to us because they're happy traveling in Asia right now. But the ones who desire marriage and family, the reason why they're not happy is because they were taught that by doing these things is going to lead me to marriage and family. And so it goes back to this old famous quote from Scarface that everybody remembers. Scarface is, you know, at the pool with his I think his cousin, and he says, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. So I've always said a lot of men's drive to success for these certain jobs, for these positions in life, is to attract a certain caliber of woman. That is why he's doing these things. If you were to tell men you could get that same caliber of woman without the job, without the status, without the car, without the chains, without all these things, do you think men will do it, Chris? They wouldn't do it because so many of them are doing it to attract the women. So when so many women are putting all their energy and effort into acquiring these masculine things, what ends up happening is they don't ever learn the feminine skills that's required to attract the masculine man. Because what they know is, as a woman, as a heterosexual woman, you are very attracted to masculine energy, but you're not attracted to a man with feminine energy. So what you got to realize is the opposite is true. A man is extremely attracted to feminine energy, and he's not going to be attracted to masculine energy in a woman.
Would you love to be able to pick up the guitar and play without thinking? Don't be like Joe. Why do I say that?
Not at all. Not at all. If you have, because that's the thing. If I could paint this example clear, a masculine man, he can be unattractive, but he has the money, the status, the success, you know, the things that women desire in a man. He can find a woman,
yes,
attractive woman,
yes, definitely.
That's what women want. Now we go to a not so attractive woman.
Mm-hmm.
She has the money, the status, the career, the car, all those things that women find desirable in men. Guess what? Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is not attracted to that.
Yeah.
He's not attracted to what do you have,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I think that is like I said, the biggest reason why there's a huge disconnect. But I want women to understand is when somebody say, you know, why should you be wife material, and you list out all of the things that makes a man husband material.
Yeah.
Why would that high value, that successful man date that?
Yeah.
If he doesn't seem that as desirable, if he doesn't seem that as important as you do.
Yeah.
Because I do think women think that since they desire that men also desire that as well.
That's
where the disconnect is.
And so we're gonna go backwards and talk about how did we get here. And I want to spend a few seconds on what you just said because it kind of correlates to that. So one of the things that I talk about in society is that society has become more egalitarian. I tell my students all the time when I was a teacher, big words all have small definitions. Mm-hmm. What does egalitarian mean? Basically, egalitarianism is an idea that men and women are the same, right? And which is good. Should men vote? Yes. Should women vote? Yes. Should men own property? Yes. Should women own property? Yes. So there's a lot of good things about an egalitarian society. But what you tend to learn is that men and women are the same in a lot of areas and they deserve the same rights, but they're different people. They have different interests. They have different desires. There's something about having a body filled with testosterone and a body filled with estrogen. There's something about a body that can, produce life. It's a different machine. And so what has happened is because we're living in this egalitarian society, a lot of women think equality and sameness is the same thing, which is not. And so they think because I feel this way, men feel this way. They think that every emotion and feeling that they have, men also have. So to your point, women believe what attracts me as a woman to Chris, those characteristics, whatever, write it down. That's also what's going to attract Chris to me when that's not the case. And we talk about it all the time. We've linked both articles in this video. There's a Psychology Today article, and it analyzed across all cultures what do men desire in a long-term partner and what do women desire. What they found is the number one thing women desire is what, Chris?
Stability.
Financial stability. That's the number one thing women desire. They desire it. And we talked about it, in previous episodes, so we're going to go down that rabbit hole for this one. And what they found is the number one thing men desire was youthful beauty. That's what men desired. And so when you think about that, and then you think about the message that's communicated to women, take your 20s, throw them out the window.
Take for youthful look, your youthful attraction. Forget about that.
Yes.
Focus on your career.
Exactly. And the point that we keep on making is that the reason why you tell guys that is because as you get older as a man, you attract more women because you have what, Chris?
You have more financials, more money,
exactly,
more power, more all that.
Exactly. So as you get old, that's why they tell guys to wait, because they're going to let you know, man, in your early 20s, you might not get many women that will be able to be a long-term partner with you. But if you wait your turn, later on, you'll get the exact woman that you want. But what happens is when they teach that message to women, they will waste 20 to 35. They'll waste their prime years that they can be using attracting the right caliber of man, and they throw it away and they replace that youthful feminine energy and that youthful feminine beauty for this masculine.
Everything in life is a negotiation. When you cross the street is a negotiation. Getting your
energy. And then they wonder why at 30 there's no men here.
Exactly, man. And then even to add on to that, as they're going through school, work, business, that's all they're focused on. That's all they're focused on. So men, if they're in law school or getting a doctorate, the brother is studying, and guess what? He's still talking to women. Most of these women are only doing school, business. That's it. I'm not focused on you. I'm just not focused on you.
Wow.
Because I was told, I was taught, I have seen broken relationships. I have seen society. I have, idolized celebrity relationships. I have seen that men is the problem.
Of course they are.
Men is the problem. I'm going to avoid that, create my entire life, my entire lifestyle that I want, the career, all those things. Have that, and then I'll worry about that later. Because I don't want to depend on a guy. I don't want to rely on him. I don't want to, just submit to him.
Oh, you just lost half the audience, Chris. So that's good. And I think one of the parts that stand out to me is that we always go back to the point. We're gonna go back to it throughout this episode, and the point is, what do you want out of life? Whatever you want, you should be taking the necessary steps to achieve what you desire. And what we're simply saying is what women are doing is not helping them get to where they want to in life. And so before we even move forward, let's go backwards. How did we get here? Why do a lot of women have this ideology? Reason number one, moms and failed experiences. So what happened is they either saw mom or mom told them, or they experienced this themselves. Heartbreak, hurt from men, bad things happening, and then mom or someone communicated to them, you can never trust a man. Get your money, get your stuff. You don't ever want to depend upon a man. So now they've built their whole life to never depend upon a man. It's interesting, as I've always said it, when you ask most men, going back to what we said previously, why are you doing this? They're doing it to attract women. They're doing all these things to get women. Careers, money, status, cars, chains, to bring women closer to them. And then you ask a lot of women, why are you doing these things? To not need men, to not be dependent upon a man, to push a man away in a sense. So when you see women and their moms giving this information, that's the mentality that men don't have, where I'm doing this thing to not need the other gender.
You're pushing them away. You're pushing them away, and these women that's speaking that into their life, as in, push the men away, focus on yourself. They come from damaged places. They come from damaged experiences, and when you project that onto somebody else, it's just not right. I heard stories all the time. My mom told me this, my mom told me that, or my girlfriend said all of this, and I see their experiences and I just want to avoid it. But you desire it. That's something you want in your life. So you letting these people speak over you and control you and manipulate you in these ways, and you're unhappy. Women have the money, the clothes, and all these things, and they're unhappy. And it's sad to see that men get blamed for it. Whether, even though it could be the messenger should be blamed for it. Whoever told you that should be blamed for it. Society should be blamed for it. These women rap lyrics should be blamed for it. It's not the men. So it's something that it's heartbreaking to see. And I just hope that the women have these self-awareness. They can look back and reflect, how did I get here truly? What was this person? Who is this speaker of my life? Why did I make these decisions to lead me where I am today?
And the second reason why a lot of them gotten there, especially the first generation girls, is bad information from their fathers. And like I've always say, especially in the Nigerian community, these fathers make their daughters into women they never married. Because their fathers understand the difficulties of being successful in America and stabilizing life in America, they push these women to career, jobs, go to school, no dating, no boys, no nothing, jobs, career. And then what ends up happening is, these women literally do that. And to Chris's point, they don't build any relationship skills. They don't build the feminine skills their mothers may have had. And so they literally listen to their father's advice because they want to be good daughters. And then they come out and they're 28 and their dad's like, where's your husband? They're 30, where's your husband? Where's your husband? My whole life, you told me not to talk to men.
You raised me like a son.
Exactly. And so I realized that bad information hurts them because, like I said, a lot of their mothers, especially the ones in good relationships, it was those feminine skills that she had that she learned from her original home country that drew that man, her father, to her. But when you now have jettisoned all these feminine soft skills and all you have, because Chris, you made a great point. You said men are doing both. So men are learning how to interact with women, and they're working on the masculine things. But a lot of these girls, all they're doing is the masculine things. And so you can only imagine how disconnected to their femininity they are when it comes to these men. So yes, the number 2 reason is because of their dads.
Yeah. If you're not taught in your feminine nature, in your feminine way, you have a lot of catching up to do. Because that's all you know how to do. Like when you walk in these corporate offices and these business meetings and these plannings and stuff, they put on this, this bravado of, listen to me, I'm a woman, yada, 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 things. And when they walk like that all the time, no matter where they in freaking, fitness or they around their family, they're always this person. The power woman when you walk in the room, you're like, yep, there she is, and when they don't have that soft, tender, kind nature, they're not going to be desirable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just point blank period, because they're walking around like kings, even though they want a king. But why would a king want a king when he wants a queen?
My dad always told me there can never be 2 kings in one castle. One king will either have to be banished from the kingdom and start his own. And that's a great point that Chris brought up. I don't think women understand heterosexual men don't want other men.
Moms, we see you.
And if you're built your whole life to be a man, why would a heterosexual man want that? Especially a more of masculine man. Maybe a feminine man who wants that more masculine energy in his life will desire that. And so, I think Chris made that great point. Like, why would a king want another king? And that's what they don't get. Because, and like I said, it's the unfortunate thing which leads to number 3 when it comes to society has lied to them. Because it's hard for them to get outside their head and realize men are not like me. Men are not like me. And the moment you understand that, it liberates you to not try to be a man. Because like I said, now society, INDEPE, like, I love her because she has her own. Like all these things are now communicating to her, oh, this is what men like. And that to me is a fundamental problem. You're doing this because you believe this is what men likes. It's crazy. Imagine a guy. This is what it reminds me of. Imagine a guy wearing a pink dress and putting a flower in his hair because he's saying that will attract more women for me. Imagine a guy doing that.
Yeah.
So I know I'm doing this because girls like it. You're like, bro, no, you might like that in girls, but women don't like that in men.
Yeah.
That's literally what a lot of them are doing. And so because society and these unhealthy messages and the egalitarianism, all these things are in their minds, now they're oblivious to where when you ask women today, what do men want? You literally hear them describe men. Whereas 100 years ago, this was your grandma knew this, your great grandma knew. They knew what men desired. They understood it. And if they wanted to attract a man, that's what they brought to the table. But literally, the modern woman is oblivious to what men desire, and they suffer greatly because of it.
Yeah, the modern woman wants to live the lifestyle that they want to create, and then they expect the men that they want to exceed that lifestyle as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they want somebody greater than that. And they want to work when they want to, say what they want to say, do what they want to do. And then on top of that, that guy has to be okay with those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in my bag, but I'm in his too.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, these newfound rap lyrics from these females is absolutely crazy to me. I can't listen to it. Yeah. I know you can't listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way society paints, you know, this women empowerment, which is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that when you used to say all the time, and I really praise you for it, what you say, you know, to your audience, they would do in mass.
Mm-hmm.
So these women are gaining so much good on the surface level, on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also don't think that they receive any bad admiration or bad not information, but bad popularity, because these women that have the money, have the cars, have the status, have that lifestyle are praised
Mm-hmm.
from other women.
Mm-hmm.
They're praised from other women. Those women, get your bag, girl, get the money,
Mm-hmm.
you know, date whoever you want to, leave him when you talk to, leave him on red, leave his Instagram, DM, y'all, like, you know, you're in full control. Act how the way you want to act. And these women do that because they get that praise. Then when they try to get the man that they want, and that guy doesn't sign that contract and doesn't want to do those things,
yeah,
it's his fault.
Yeah.
He's in his old way of thinking. He needs to come with the new times now.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to accept that, then that's on him.
Mm-hmm.
But she don't understand that most men, especially the men that you want, won't accept that.
Yeah.
So you're going to be successful, but you're going to struggle finding that guy for a long time.
And let's make something 100% clear. We should have said this in the very beginning.
Oops.
We are not communicating the problem is women are financially successful.
No.
That is not what we're saying at all. We're not communicating the problem is that you have your own place.
No.
Or you have your own business, or you have your own car. We are not communicating that's the problem. The problem that we're communicating is that you have gained all these masculine things, which is not bad, but at the expense of your femininity that is meant to attract men.
Exactly.
Because that's what people got to understand. Each animal has mating rituals. You know, I think there was this thing where the rams, like they headbutt each other.
Yeah.
And whoever wins, that's where the girl goes to.
Yeah.
The female rams don't headbutt each other. They don't do that stuff. You know, so there's things that men do. And so the fundamental problem is never the career, never the job, never the money, never the degree, never the car. It's what are you going to sacrifice to get those things?
Yeah.
And if you're going to sacrifice your femininity to achieve those things, you will no longer have the skills to attract the men that you desire, because as Chris shared, what these women find no problem with is attracting feminine men, more passive men. They have no problem with that. But what is it? The issue, Chris? They don't want those guys.
Exactly.
They want the masculine men. So if you're going to attract a masculine man, you need to have feminine energy and those feminine soft skills, which women put on the back burner in pursuit of masculine skills, thinking that these masculine skills are now going to get me the man that I want.
Exactly. And then the women that, we talk to, we coach, that come to us about this, they have to learn those feminine traits.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a completely new area, completely new nature for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, during this process of self-awareness, level up, career, all these different things, it's hard to do everything at once well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, women are very focused. So when they're focused on a career, they're not focusing on the feminine traits.
Mm-hmm.
They're not focusing on what will a husband desire.
Mm-hmm.
They're focusing on just this, and they want to learn all this stuff later. And thinking that the things that they gain are going to be attractive. I feel like we keep going backwards to that, but I feel like that point has to come across.
To be understood.
It has to be understood, because if they get to a certain age, they're going to have to relearn how and what it means to be a feminine woman.
Mm-hmm.
They probably never even had an example of that.
Yeah.
Their friends are not that, because usually the birds of a feather flock together. So all your friends are probably similar as well.
Yeah.
Your mother probably wasn't that. She probably the one that taught you those things.
Yeah.
And then if your dad didn't do a good job, then you was raised like a guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very hard. It's a very rare woman that has that feminine energy and then has that success as well.
Yeah.
And then not to lose the feminine energy.
Yeah.
Because we have met women that were soft, were kind, had this feminine happiness and joyful spirit. Then something happened, some traumatic experience, some relationship, some whatever. And then now that's all gone.
Yeah.
This wall is up. This hard exterior is up. Women's hearts are hurting nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
Because we can see it. You could post a picture and we would know, man, that girl's heart is hard.
Yeah.
It's a dark place right now.
Mm-hmm.
But on the outside, from other peers or from other women, they're doing good and living a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that they're broken inside.
Yeah.
And that brokenness can never, lead to the healing, but can never lead to gaining that desirability, that feminine nature that men want. Because you have to heal from that.
Yeah. Let's stay on the career stuff, because I don't want to get too deep into the emotional stuff. That's a whole different conversation.
Ooh.
But one of the points that leading to the second half of the conversation is why men don't desire independent women.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I think there's this idea that men, two things, is the belief that, men want women like this. Men say they want women like this. No. Don't believe the facade. They don't.
The microphone costs a lot of money.
Yeah. and the second thing is that men don't want independent, strong women because they're intimidated.
Mm.
And that's not the case at all. We'll talk about that a little bit later once we dive into it. But one of the challenges of an independent woman, this is one of the reasons why men don't want them, is because independence is not something that you need in a long-term relationship.
Mm.
You actually need interdependence. The more independent a person is, the less likely they can have a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
So there was an interesting study that analyzed divorce rates by years. And most people are aware of the first truth, which is the younger you get married, the higher the divorce rates. So late teens, early 20s, the divorce rates are relatively high. And what is the reasoning, Chris, why divorce rates are high during that time? Immaturity. A lot of times people are not ready, instability, all these things. That's why the divorce rates aren't high. So what happens is divorce rates are high, and then all of a sudden it goes down as people get older into their mid-20s, mid to late 20s, right? And most people think what's going to happen is in the 30s, it's going to go down, 40s, it's going to go down, No. what happens is then after the late 20s, early 30s, it goes back up. And the problems that are true, the divorce rates that are high in your early 20s are also high in your 30s. Because what they find is that the longer someone has not been married, the longer someone's used to being independent and by themselves, it becomes extremely difficult to now merge with another person, to now put your lives together, for the two to become one. Then you add that to the point where you're an independent person. I like things this way. I like things that way. And now you want a masculine, driven, ambitious man who is structured, who is focused, who has his kingdom. Now you want him to bend to you. And so what they realize is that at a certain age, those marriages are just unstable at the early 20s. So that's something that people don't talk about. That being independent is actually the wrong skill if you want to create a long-term relationship.
There's a certain strain of bacteria called Lactobacillus reuteri that will help you grow bigger balls. There was a study.
Man, I hope they heard that, bro. I hope they heard that. Because if you don't have the ability to compromise and to practice sacrificial love, then yeah, your relationship, marriage will not last.
Tell the story about that girl that you went to her party.
Yeah. So yeah, it was this girl. You know, she was attractive. Come on now, it's me. I went over there, and it was her world. You know, and I walked in, and I could see everything was organized, everything was neat, and it was just her space. And I would begin to ask her questions. She didn't know she was on the hot seat, but because I got spidey tinklings of single. When we've been on tour and stuff, we can see things. So I'm just like, okay, so how is it living by yourself? How have you ever had roommates before? Okay, I never have a roommate. I can never have. What's wrong with having a roommate? I don't like people around my things. I don't like people touching these things. I have my life, my way, my order, all these things. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, all right, so what about your siblings? How you get along with your parents and things like that? Well, I kind of like my own space. I always want to be controlled. And, sometimes, and look, side note, I think she said this. I could be wrong, but I think she said this, that her mother practiced so much independence that they had separate rooms from her father. Her mother and her father did not sleep in the same room together. So you take that, practice, put that into, a daughter. I get there. I'm sitting there like, man, this is her world. Yeah. And I remember her telling me, like, I was like, so what's one of your biggest fears? And she was saying, like, when I find a guy that we would just become roommates, because, I feel like I just only would want his company because I don't need him from anything else. Yeah. So sex drive wasn't high, didn't desire to be touched, to be intimate, those things. I just want an attractive guy there and talk to him when I want to. Yeah. And I felt that. Yeah. I'm not saying we got in bed and we're like, you follow me. I'm just saying we were there, Fizz. Okay, calm down. And I was like, this girl, she literally is going to be on her phone this entire time. I was like, I'm going to just see how long it's going to take for her to start a conversation. Hour goes by, nothing happened. I'm just like, this is exactly what she wants. This is exactly what she desires out of a man. I had to come up with an excuse to leave. I was like, you know what, man, it's getting kind of late because, I think it's time for me. Never saw her again. Yeah. So yeah, those women like that create that lifestyle, and they want that high value, that desirable guy that they want to conform to that. Yeah. Because this is my independent self. This is my true self. I am not going to come together and compromise anything.
Yeah, and there's this really popular quote that men always say, and Chris, you can finish the line.
Here we go.
And it's about women, and men say, can't live with them.
Can't live without them.
And the reality of the matter is, men understand not that they want women, they need them. Every guy knows that. It's a headache, it's trauma, but we can't live without them. We need them. And then you have so many women today that say, I don't need a man. I don't need no 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 man. That's what they say. So think about the differences between the men who are like, we can't live with him, can't live without him, we need him. And the women who say, we don't need no man. Now, how can Miss I don't need no man, not even I don't need a man. How can now she create an interdependent relationship?
Impossible.
And so that is something in which a lot of girls, I was talking to this one girl, we're having a conversation about it, and she literally broke down in tears. And she said, I ruined my past relationship because she didn't have any ability to create a healthy interdependent relationship with a man. And so, like I keep on going back to the what hurts me the most is what they want, and how for so many of these girls, they're so far away from what they want, and now they're in their late 30s, mid 30s, and they're just like, oh my gosh, where are the guys? And the reality of the matter, going back to another point, is that though some women get bad information, others get good information. And the ones that get good information, they're doing both. They're going to college, they're getting jobs, they're, taking care of themselves, but they're also making men a priority because they need men. And they're the ones who are marrying these guys. So what's going to happen is the guys that going back to that story you shared, all those guys that were knocking your door down in your 20s, by the time in your 30s, a lot of these guys are off the market, especially the marriage-minded ones.
Yeah.
See, that's what girls understand. There's multiple guys. They're the marriage-minded one. They're the fun guys. They're the guys who just like to, long-term girlfriends. The marriage-minded ones get snatched up pretty early. There's women who get married today.
Yeah.
And they're getting snatched up. And so what ends up happening is so many of these women are now struggling, and then in some weird sabotaging nature, they're giving that same advice that caused them to struggle to the younger girls.
Yeah.
They're posting on social media, on Instagram and all these apps, how happy they are, how, oh my gosh, self-love, I love me, but they're not happy. They're calling me in tears, but they're posting these pictures on social media showing a facade of a life that they're not really satisfied with.
That's a great point you made, bro. I think that whole social media is literally just fake.
Mm-hmm.
These women are faking out here. You say they're showing the traveling, they're showing the food that they eat and the experiences, the wine, and then they get in a group of these women together and they're having a great time just with women. Yeah. And I think it's all just fake because I see it when Valentine's Day come around.
Yeah.
I can see just like, oh, I don't need a man. I got my own wine and my dog here, or I'm going on dinner with my mother and things like that. And I know you have to post something because you think that the people are watching you. You may feel some type of way because you're not having that man.
Yeah.
And these kind of people, these influencers are really showing these fake highlights, and they are hurting the younger women today.
No, that's good. And so let's go ahead and let's finish with the positives because I'm really afraid this message is going to come across the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because we're sharing these things because it hurts us for the people who are not getting what they want out of life. That's my big thing. I tell people all the time, if you're a career-oriented person, you're getting the money, you're happy, you're living your dream, it don't apply to you because you're happy. What always hurts me is the woman who is doing these things and they're unhappy and they can't be honest about it. So let's go to the solutions. And so to me, I thought about something. I said, if I had a daughter and she's 20 years old right now, what is the advice I'm going to give my daughter? And the advice I'm going to give my daughter is this. If you have a dream for a job, chase that dream for a job. If you have a dream for a certain home you want to live in, chase that dream for the home. Car, chase it. Degree, chase that. Whatever you want in life, I want you to give 110%. But if you have a dream for a family and marriage, I want you to chase that 110. Not chase a man. I want you to put that same energy, wisdom, and intentionality that you're putting into the career, putting into the family as well. So I don't want you saying no family the same way I don't want you saying no job. I don't want you saying no husband the same way I want you saying no degree. I want you to pursue both of these things. I want you to go and meet people and get to know guys and then to find out what you desire. I want you to also, as you're building your masculine skills, to also build your feminine soft skills of being able to be warm, of nurturing, of the soft skills of conversation. You know, I want you to build all these skills, and I want you to have this radiant feminine energy, because that's what's going to attract men. That's what's going to bring men to you. And so that's what I want for my daughter. And so to all the young girls in their 20s, like, I don't misunderstand. We are not saying don't chase the job. We're saying chase and pursue and prioritize what you want that will make you happy. So don't simply put everything to the side and expect at 30 years old this husband is going to float down from the heavens, because I'm telling you that's not the case. Intentionality, wisdom, and focus on everything that you desire, especially if that is marriage and family.
Bro, I second that with all of my heart, all of my soul, and all of my being. I second that. To add on to that, I will want my daughter to have those kind of women as mentors. Those women that she can go and seek guidance from, and they can really brainstorm on exactly how can they make both of those things work out in the best way possible. And also on top of that, I want her peers to also be like that as well.
That's good.
And because who you surrounded and who you let in your ear can really mold you and really shape you into what you are in the future. So if you're letting in these negative people, these bad people around you, you're only going to get negative, bad things affected in your life. So if I, as a father, can have a database of women that have exactly what she's looking for, that desire to, be successful and desire to be a wife, and have both of those and have the good energy and healed and walking in their purpose, being a God-fearing woman, Proverbs 31. I would love for that woman to be a mentor and then find peers that's going that same direction as well. That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so that's something, like I said, I want girls to understand that, because I think a study showed that there are more singles than ever before.
Yes.
In American history.
I can believe that.
When you look up the statistics, especially unfortunately in the Black community, the never married women rate between the ages of 40 to 45 is so sad.
I don't even want to know. Honestly.
Never married.
I don't want to know.
It's close to 50% have never been married. And that to me is so sad. And if you're new to this content and you're still here, and we should have said that at the beginning, we said it during the first episode, we forgot it on this one. But the point is that we're doing content for men already.
Yes.
Women can say, well, what are men doing? Men aren't this, men aren't that, men aren't that. You're right. We're working on the men. We have a whole community of thousands of men who are putting in the work to become better men, become better husbands, to become better fathers.
In addition to that, I'm sorry to cut you off. We're not training these men to be hateful towards women, bitter towards women, or angry towards women and speak down on women. We're training them to love women, take care of them, court them, lead them in the proper way possible.
Exactly. Healthy men, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to happen is, as these men begin, especially the younger ones, begin to mature and get ready for marriage, they're going to want their feminine counterparts. So what's going to happen is, if the women are not putting in the work and tapping into their femininity, you're going to have a whole generation of ready to marry men who cannot find their feminine counterparts, and all they can find is masculine women they're not attracted to. And so, like I said, like I keep on saying, ask yourself, what do I want?
Yeah.
And whatever it is that you want, pursue it. So the last person I want to address is the woman who's 35, who's in her late 30s, in her late 30s, maybe early 30s, even late 20s, who was sold the lie that, pursue the career, the money, and all that stuff, and the men will come later. And there's no men around right now. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to be honest for the first time. Because what I've noticed, a lot of those women can't be honest about what they want in life. They cannot verbally say, I want to be a wife. They cannot say, I want family more than they can't even say that, because they're so conditioned by society to never utter those words, or you're lesser than a woman, or you're a needy, independent girl, you know what I mean, who needs to be, or to attract the men that you desire. And so by being honest, you're on a step to actually getting what you want. And so that's the very first thing that I just want these ladies to be like. Let's stop lying and let's start being honest.
Yeah, in order to see results and to heal and progress, you have to start from the heart, and you have to start from being truthful and honest with yourself, and understand that, one life is a journey. So you're going to make mistakes, you're going to fail at certain things. But if you are not being truthful, lying to yourself, lying to the people that are trying to help you out, speak into you, then yeah, you're only going to cheat and hurt yourself. And that's the thing. I really hope they can truly be honest, because that's the thing. They have to take off the mask that they put on themselves, that they put on social media, that they put in front of their family, put in front of the family reunion, and face the music that you're not happy. And then when they hear those words or they get triggered, they go on automatically defense mode. And when they go on defense mode, they don't point, or they don't look in the mirror at themselves. They blame the men. And they usually blame the men because the men don't compromise.
Yeah.
And the men that you want are not going to compromise.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can be honest and understand that just because that's where you are doesn't mean you have to stay there.
Exactly. And which leads to the next step is, now it's time to begin to do the work.
Yeah.
To learn those feminine soft skills, to learn exactly what men desire. I tell women all the time, read the book His Needs, Her Needs by Willard F. Harley Jr. Read that book. He explains the differences between what men desire and what women desire in a romantic partner. Women will begin to learn that. They'll begin to build those skills. Because I keep on saying, feminine skills attract masculine men. Masculine skills do not attract masculine men. So I hope this message was clear. I wish we had the first episode, because, we tried our best with this one.
Yeah.
But I just hope women are able to be happier. I hope they're able to find the love and build the families that they desire. I just hope that this whole facade of, this career, money, because at the end of the day, let me tell you a true story, and I'll wrap it up with this, and you can say whatever you want to close. There's the sad reality is that so many modern women want to become the worst caliber.
For just $67, you can make as many videos as you want, and you never need to pick up a camera or use
Of men. So what happens is men do some really bad things and they want to be that. Men will just treat women like objects and have sex with them and throw them to the side of the road, and then women want to be that too. It's never they want to be the virtuous men. They want to be the worst caliber of men. So do you know one of the saddest men in the planets are, Chris?
Who's that?
Old rich men on their deathbed. Because they have all this stuff. They have the money. They have the cars. They have the status. But all the people in their life don't like them. Their children can't stand them. Their third, second, first wife doesn't like them. This person sacrificed people on the altar of success. And these guys are miserable. And what everybody tells me is that these guys who've done nothing but chase money, success, and all that stuff, at the end of their lives, they would trade it all again for love, to spend time with their child, to maybe give it a second go again with that wife that divorced them. They will trade all the money in the world to be with the people that they love. And so it saddens me that so many women are sacrificing their feminine nature to have that fate, to simply be an individual who at the end of the day is going to have a whole lot of money, but nobody by their side. And that breaks my heart.
So much truth in that, man. And, you know, I just, like you said, I just want, hopefully we put the message across well. And we're speaking out of love. We're speaking out of concern because we want to help. You know, we don't want anybody to feel any type of way and be angry and be upset and thinking we're trying to speak down on and blame. We see a problem and we're trying to offer a solution.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if we're trying to build high character, high value people and have everybody level of spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially, physically, that's including women too.
Yeah.
You know, and we have these hard conversations, these hard realities, not only with ourselves, but with our peers and with our male audience as well. This is a PSA out of love, and usually everything comes from God.
Yeah.
Man, I really just want women to win, man. I'm tired of walking through the airport, walking through the mall, and seeing so many lonely people and so many broken people. And they just accepting and living in this trash reality and just letting life and the waves just flow them and just waiting to pass.
Yeah.
I don't wish that on nobody. And I hope that we can throw the life rap out there, but they have to grab it and work towards it as well.
Yeah.
So I just hope women put the work in and hopefully this make a change.
My name is Hafiz.
Chris, the star of the show. I'm sad.
We're the roommates. And adios.
Oh, man, I got emotion.
Sure.
All right. All right. So overall, I thought it was a really good podcast, to be completely transparent. I really enjoyed the podcast. Yeah, my phone has been, if you've been seeing me look down, it's because I've been getting text messages and stuff. But anyway, I thought it was a really good podcast. I think they had some really good valid points. But I just want to because I've been on here for like an hour or so. And I just want to do a little quick watch party because I think it would be great preparation for the session on Friday, where I'm going to bring on some folks and we're going to talk about, do men need to be needed? And based off of this video, I'm gearing towards yes, and I'll explain it on Friday. I don't want to give away that too much. But one thing that I took away from watching this video is that in reality, we all should truly be living in our purpose. Do what makes you happy. If you want a family, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want that now, there's nothing wrong with that. You can strive towards that just like you do work towards your career, and acquiring whatever it is that you desire. But the key word that I kept hearing them say was heal, right? We have been fed a lot of different, whether it be from understanding and seeing, past failed relationships or seeing past positive relationships. I know for me, I've seen both, right? So I thought it was a very interesting perspective. Definitely respect it and think that I definitely think that it was an interesting perspective, and I don't see any lies. I just think it's just their opinion, and I think that it's respected and valued from my end. So I don't have much to say. I thought it was an interesting podcast. I think that we have to remain teachable, and we have to remain flexible. Both men and women. It can't just be a one-way street, because a lot of times you can't, I don't know. It just throws me off when they think that a man thinks that you're supposed to compromise with him, but there's no compromise. I think it has to be a two-way street. But overall, yeah, great podcast. Thanks to the roommate HTX for allowing me to use the video. It definitely provides more context than the clip that I initially saw. At first, I was a little hesitant. But what I took away from it is that we got to live in our purpose. So with that said, I'm gonna go off. Thanks for those who were able to tune in with me. I know it was a long video, but I thought I could watch it live, and just check it out, since I'll be talking about it on Friday. But anywho, thank you all and have an awesome day. Deuce.